Hi, Gerard Evans from Abisti here, and today I want to talk to you about how to safely buy search engine optimization SEO in 2015. Now, safely is the operative word, really. There are safe ways to do SEO, and there are less safe ways to do SEO, shall we say. And you might be wondering why you would even need safe. Well, if you're in business, you do need your SEO to be safe because Google is clamping down more and more on unsafe ways of doing it. So if you're looking for any kind of longevity in business, and most businesses are, let's face it, then we do need to be safe. So what I want you to understand is that SEO is like electricity. It's very, very powerful, but it can be dangerous in the wrong hands, and there are quite a lot of those about. So I'm sure you're aware of quite a lot of that already. So therein is the problem, and here it comes the solution. And the solution, firstly, we go back to basics. Okay, so let me very quickly explain what I mean by that. Google, when it came out as a search engine, Google absolutely trounced the opposition, which at the time was Yahoo and Alta Vista. And it did this for several reasons, but one of the main ones was because it returned accurate results. So Google does not want to be manipulated. Therefore, any kind of SEO is something that Google's looking to avoid as much as possible, really. So, there are broadly two kinds of SEO tactics. I'm aware that's simplifying things slightly, and there are probably, people on forums out there who might sort of go, yes, but, there's blah, blah, blah. But if you're new to this, the thing to understand is there are broadly two kinds of SEO tactics. There is white hat and there is black hat, named, as you can see there, after the goodies and the baddies in westerns. And what you need to understand here is they are essentially, it's the same kind of thing, but it's a question of how far you take it. So let's have a look at white hat first. Basically, white hat is trying to make a website as appealing as possible to Google, but keeping as far as we can within Google's terms of service. You could argue that any kind of search engine optimization is outside Google's terms of service, but essentially Google wants to deliver accurate results, and so what we want to do is give Google the accurate results it wants to deliver. So if somebody is searching for Bulgarian stamp collecting, and we have a website that is called bulgarianstampcollecting.com, and the first page has a heading that says Bulgarian stamp collecting, and then text that says this is a website about Bulgarian stamp collecting, and goes on to have really high quality content that really helps out people who have that particular interest, and mentions the phrase Bulgarian stamp collecting about the right amount of times. Google is quite rightly going to say, okay, that's got to be a good site to show to this person who wants to know about Bulgarian stamp collecting. So really it's quite simple on a base level like that, and that is kind of the base level of what white hat is. We're going to go into it in a bit more detail. But on the other side of things, there's Clint Eastwood. What is black hat? On the other side of things, you have black hat. Now, black hat does have its uses for certain people, and what black hat does, it essentially doesn't pay much attention to Google's terms and conditions, and just tries to forever stay one step ahead of Google. And essentially, if you're wondering how this is used, a lot of people use it for things called churn and burn websites, for instance, where they might rely on getting a website to the top just for a couple of weeks before Google bans it, but those couple of weeks might make quite a lot of money, and then they burn that one and churn another one, hence churn and burn. So that's how black hat operators kind of work. But they also, and this is important to know, they also these days send out a lot of emails to normal companies saying we can do for $5 a year we can get you number one on Google for any search term you want, and so on and so forth. And so when we're looking at how to buy SEO safely, we need to bear in mind that white hat and black hat exists, and black hat basically plays fast with the rules and is quite dangerous. So why does white hat cost more than black hat? Well, there are various reasons. It's essentially because it's cheaper to do black hat than white hat. White hat takes longer and it involves more work. Now, if you're thinking he's not selling this very well at the moment, stick around because there are very, very good reasons. Because if you're running a business and you want your website to do well, the first and foremost thing you want is safe results, okay? You want results that are not going to get you banned from Google, because when you get banned from Google, when Google puts you on its blacklist, if you like, then either it's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money to get all that reversed by reverse engineering and unpicking all the bad things that have been done, or in many cases you may well just have to get a new website with all the costs that incurs. There may be so much damage done that has to happen. So we want safe results that will last us a long time. Okay, we want to be able to not just get to the top of search engines, but we want to stay at the top of search engines, and we do that and we ensure ourselves as far as you possibly can against Google's future updates by basically, playing the good guy. But this doesn't happen as quickly. These results will be gradual, and I would say, and I do say to clients as a rule of thumb, I would give it 6 months of gradual work, because Google likes to see things happen naturally. Google does not want to be manipulated. And because Google doesn't want to be manipulated, it likes to reward things that happen organically, or, and here's the crucial bit, appear to happen organically. Now, what never happens organically is a website goes from nobody liking it one day to everybody liking it the next day, okay? Unless perhaps it's, for a new pop star or something like that. If you're a new pop star, get in touch. I've got special rates for you. However, if you're a normal business, we want gradual results that look natural. That's the point. They've got to look natural. And they've got to give quality content. What Google survives on is delivering quality content, okay? If I type in Bulgarian stamp collecting and I get returned a site about the capital of Bulgaria, or stamp collecting in Pakistan or something like that, that's not what I want. Google wants to return relevant content, but it wants to return high quality content as well. This is Google's concern, and as long as we mirror Google's concerns, we'll be fine. And the way we give quality content is making it handcrafted. We do not use machines, we do not use software to create content. Okay, it's cheaper, absolutely, but it adds no value. It adds no value to your business, for that matter. It's not just a question of getting high in the search rankings. Once people get to the site, they've got to like what they see. And so what you want is quality content that is handmade by genuine writers and delivers genuine great value to the people that visit the site. Okay, if you're looking at this little checklist here, I think it's quite clear to me, and hopefully it will be to you as well, that what we're really looking to do is the right thing. We're looking to promote our website by really genuinely adding content to the internet. So, presuming you're on board with all that and you want to make a safe purchase for SEO, here's some questions you want to ask companies that might get in touch with you, and they will, of course, and as you'll know, they do. Despite the fact I do this for a living, I get 10 or 15 of these inquiries a day, personally. So here's some questions to ask and warning signs to look out for when you're looking to safely buy search engine optimization. Okay. Now, a lot of the emails you get sent will have a one-size-fits-all price. So you'll get an email that says for $90 a month we can get you on page 1 of Google, etc., etc. And really, that is a massive, massive warning sign. Okay. Every search engine optimization job is different, and anybody who has a flat rate price like that, I'd keep away from them. I really would. What you're looking for instead is the following. We want a tailor-made quote, a quote that is about your website, not a general quote. We want the companies who have thoroughly researched your niche. Okay. Again, we don't want something that is tailor-made across niches. Each niche is different. So we want a company to be offering you a specific campaign plan, specific to your site, specific to your niche. Okay. Imagine if search engine optimization was like a car. You wouldn't get somebody emailing you saying, "Hey, we can sell you a car for $1,000." You'd want to know what kind of car, what condition it was in, what results you're going to get, essentially. Okay, so always be very wary of anybody who offers you a flat rate price. Next thing we want to look at is, do they offer on-site SEO as part of the package? Now what I mean by that is, will they say you're going to need to make these changes on your site as part of their campaign to make you appear better in the search engines? And it may surprise you to some that the answer is yes, we want that. Okay, we want companies to be offering changes to the on-site SEO as well, because if they don't do that, yet again, it's another warning sign. 9 times out of 10, perhaps 99 times out of 100, a website itself can be improved massively, and that on its own can really make a big difference with SEO. So we really do want people to be offering that as part of the package. Next, do you want a company that offers quick results? Well, obviously, if you're running a business, your instinct might often be to say, yes, absolutely I do, but we don't want this. I'm really sorry to disappoint anybody who did, but quick results are not safe results, essentially. As I alluded to before, Black Hat can get you to the top of search engines very quickly. It can get you down again and blacklisted even more quickly. We want gradual, safe results. Next, hopefully this is a bit of a no-brainer, but worth mentioning anyway, really. Anybody that emails you, for instance, or gets in touch with you anyway, we want to make sure their company has a physical, real-world address and phone number that we can contact them on. And we also, incidentally, want to make sure that when we do contact them, that it's a pleasant experience, because you're going to be in pretty constant contact with the company as they take you up the search engines. But if they haven't got a physical address and a phone number, be careful. So we absolutely want that. Hence the tick. Now, here's a way to see how honest a company is, in my opinion. Can they get you to page 1 of Google for what I would call impossible terms? Okay, so think of a term that would make an absolute fortune if you got on the front page of Google. Let's just off the top of my head say washing machines. Okay, if a company claims they can get you to page 1 of Google for the term washing machines, you stand to make an unlimited amount of money, essentially, as long as your website's okay. So we don't want that, and the reason we don't want that is because nobody can do that for $90 a month. Nobody can do that without having a massive campaign. If you're trying to get on page 1 of Google to compete with massive authority sites, if you are approached by a company that reckon they can beat companies like Amazon, be very wary, because essentially they are most likely lying to you. This also applies to page 1 next week claims, usually. I haven't given this the glory of its own number, but if somebody says, yeah, we can get you on page 1 next week, yet again, be very wary, because you may well be on page 1 next week if they're not lying. But if they're telling the truth and they do get you on page 1 next week, you want to be very wary that you might be blacklisted the week after. Finally, this is again hopefully a bit of a no-brainer, but can they provide you with testimonials from the real world? Now what I mean by that is you should be asking for testimonials of companies that have a visible web presence that you can ring yourself. Okay? There is absolutely nothing stopping you ringing up a company saying, I've been approached by your SEO company. Did they do the SEO? How long ago did they do the SEO? Are you happy with them? You know, is it all working out? Any company with credibility should have no problem with you doing that. So that's hopefully the biggest fail-safe of all, really. And something to bear in mind if you do go down that route, which I would recommend, is ask how long the SEO process has been going on. You know, if a company turns around to you and says, you know, Abisti have been doing my SEO for 10 years and I've been on page 1 all that time, that's a whole load better than saying, Joe Blogg's company, yeah, we're on page 1 as of last week, employed them 2 weeks ago, you know. So, you know, use your common sense on that and you should be safe. SEO, buying SEO is a scary thing because it's still an unknown quantity. The cowboys the whole cowboys thing is quite apt in the sense that we are still in the Wild West to some extent, and nefarious characters hang around in those kind of businesses. But if you follow the steps I've taken, then you're going to make yourself a whole lot safer buying SEO. Finally, if you'd like to discuss any of this any further, or if you'd like to talk to us about having SEO with us, then please do call us to UK number 01273 252575, and I'd be absolutely delighted to talk to you myself. My name's Gerard Evans, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Meanwhile, I hope you've really enjoyed this video and found it useful. It is, follow the rules and you'll be safe, a bit like crossing the road really. So thank you for watching.